Well, John was talking about Tesla and several of China's big car makers too, who are also reporting record sales as EV demand surges. Now, in the first half of 2023, the world's biggest EV maker, you guessed it, BYD, they handed 1.26 million vehicles to customers. That's almost double the figure from a year ago. The Shenzhen-based firm posted its best ever quarter in Q2. They sold more than 700,000 fully electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles, and more than 250,000 were sold in June alone. That was up 5.3% on May. Now, Beijing-based Li Auto posted a record 32,500 deliveries last month. That was also up about 15.2% from May. That hit a third consecutive monthly record. And Shanghai-based NIO, John was mentioning that too, they made 10,700 cars, handed those over to customers in June, and that was a monthly rise of 75%. So these are really big numbers. And XPeng, based in Guangzhou, they posted a 14.8% month-on-month jump too in their deliveries to 8,620. That's its best number so far this year. But consumer demand is stalling for EVs at Volkswagen. The German car maker is slashing production at a major factory. It's going to lay off 300 of the workers involved in making them. Well, Volkswagen says demand is running 30% below company forecasts, likely due to cuts in EV customer subsidies and higher inflation. Well, Jim Holder is an automotive expert. Great to see you, Jim. Now, lots of numbers being thrown at you there, but let's talk about those record sales for Tesla and BYD in particular. Is this all as dazzling as it seems, or is this a sort of post-pandemic backlog correction?
I think you can read it one of two ways, or perhaps it's both ways. I think there is a boom for these key brands. The brands that are making the best electric cars at the moment seem to be able to sell them. And absolutely, Tesla has a global role within that and a global reputation that is the envy of the car market. BYD, it has the world's largest car maker, China, on which to lean in order to generate its profits and generate its sales. And of course, we've seen it using that firm base as a launch pad into other markets, particularly into Europe, across the course of this year. So they are growing scale all of the time. Now, that's going particularly well for them, but as you say, there is this contrasting information from Volkswagen where they're struggling to hit the targets that they were hoping for. And I think that highlights this key difference between the different manufacturers, those who are hot at a particular time and those who are not. And those who are not are struggling in the face of the cost of living crisis, in the face of negative headlines around some of the experiences of running EVs, in the face, frankly, of the very high entry price to sell EVs. They are hitting some humps in the road in their journey towards getting them sold and into the hands of customers.
Now, cost is a big thing, isn't it? And I know BYD has, I suppose, the most budget-friendly EV at $11,000. They sold roughly 500,000 all-electric cars, gaining ground on Tesla and becoming the biggest EV-selling company in the world. Is that what sets them apart from Tesla? Is it all about the price?
Not just about the price, that's for sure. I think even the most stern critics have been impressed by some of the quality of the vehicles, the quality of the technology, the quality of how they drive. Chinese car manufacturers for decades have tried to break out of their home market and struggled because some of their technology was frankly lacking compared to that in Europe and even the US. With electric vehicles, they gambled early. They put the money on this technology coming through more than a decade ago. They've honed it and refined it. They've created some of the most efficient batteries, some of the most efficient electric motors. They've looked at the tech in the car and they've improved upon it in a lot of areas. So there are a lot of reasons why the Chinese manufacturers are arriving with credibility. They need to build the brand credibility, of course, but the actual products have impressed most commentators so far.
Jim Holder, we're going to have to leave it there, but always a pleasure to talk to you. Jim Holder, thank you very much.